Okay, by now you know that you need to have words for your big picture, that every successful leader can describe their big picture or their leadership vision in a way that makes them highly visible and instantly trustworthy. And you don't want to get caught up in the merry-go-round of buzzword bingo. I think I've been clear on that one. You know that typical visions and strategies don't work because they completely ignore the power of the limbic brain to overrule the logical brain, and that's the reason that only 25% of staff are fully engaged. In the first video, I showed you the core strategy behind leading with your big picture, how to energise and build excitement within your team and have the time to work on strategy and innovation instead of spending it in unproductive meetings or putting out fires. In the second video, you saw how you can multiply that effect across your team to put an end to siloed thinking and to get your team working cooperatively, embracing opportunities and inspiring each other. And I shared my story of how I went from being laughed out of boardrooms to leading my industry and how to build a network of raving fans that'll help you to bring your vision to life. If you missed those first two modules, you really should check them out because they guide you through the core elements of building your big picture. And for all of those that did see the videos and left comments, again I want to say a big thank you, because for me it's great to hear the different ways that you think that your big picture is going to work for you. It's incredibly inspiring for me to see that you understand the importance of getting the right words. The words that feel right for you and that'll create an emotional connection with others. I can see that you're working hard, unpacking that times 10 exercise, and I encourage you to keep at it because everything that you need's in there. Remember, it is a creative process, so you need to tune out of your analytical, logical brain and focus in on your emotional brain, your limbic brain, and look for words that give you a tingle or goosebumps. If you haven't started that exercise, you can download it from Module 1. I'm Trish Shilton, and for the past 16 years, I've been helping leaders to energise and inspire their teams. Over this time, I've discovered that the most successful leaders just do one simple thing differently, and that is they lead with their big picture that inspires trust and loyalty and creates powerful connections both within their team and within their network. And in this video, I want to show you how leading with your big picture opens your mind to opportunity and helps you to access an incredible source of untapped creativity. Your team are going to quickly identify solutions to problems and stay ahead of the competition by embracing fresh opportunities. I often ask people if they think they're creative, and mostly the answer is no, because most people seem to think that we're either born creative or not. And I want to take this opportunity to debunk that myth, because the fact is that we're all born creative. It's actually a natural function of our brain and we rely on it to solve problems. But by the time we're 7, 98% of our innate creativity has been suppressed. And that's not our parents' fault. They're doing their best to show us how to behave in the world. But just imagine for a moment what the world might look like if we could just hold on to even 10% of that creativity that we're born with. But the good news is that it's not lost. It's simply suppressed, and you can start to tap into it for yourself and for your team. Leading with your big picture means that you're defining yourself by why you do what you do rather than just what you do. And it's not just the world around you that's affected by this. It's also stimulating a really important part of your brain, which is called the reticular activating system. Have you ever thought about buying a new car? You see the car that you want in the colour that you want for the first time, and then all of a sudden it's on the road, it's on the TV, it's in magazines, they're everywhere. This is your reticular activating system at work. The reticular activating system is basically a filter for your brain. It decides what information is important to you. And if it let everything through, you'd be on overload. So when you tell your RAS that something's important to you, something that you're excited about, like a new car, it says, okay, I'll let that through. If you're leading with your big picture, you're conscious of why you do what you do, not just what you do. So your RAS looks for opportunities in line with your big picture. For example, I work with leaders and teams. That's what I do. But my big picture is inspiring people to see what's possible. So my reticular activating system looks for opportunities for me to inspire. And that opens up my world to way more than simple team building. And because my team share my big picture, their RAS also shows them opportunity, so the effect is then multiplied. When I see opportunity, I can then open my creativity and innovate to make the most of it. And that's where you can tap into that 98% of untapped creative potential, not only for yourself, but for your team. Until now, we've been focusing on one part of your big picture, the words that create an emotional connection with people, or your why. If we just pop that in a little circle in there, that's your focal point if you're leading with your big picture. But there is more to your big picture, and it's possibly even more powerful, because this is the key to putting you into your zone, or your how. I'm sure you know what I mean. Being in your zone is the time that you're at your best, when you're suddenly on fire and ideas are just flying effortlessly. You can consciously put yourself into your zone by knowing your big picture. As you unpack the 10 times that you thrived exercise from Module 1, you'll be able to see that there are recurring patterns and themes around the environment that you were in during those times. For me to be in my zone, I need an environment that's creative, connected, interactive and fun. So just creative, connected, interactive and fun. Before I understood the power of my big picture, I was quite shy about some of these things. They seem to be a little self-indulgent, especially the need for fun, when, let's face it, is a bit of an F word in many work environments. But now I know that if I'm not having fun, I'm not at my best. And this is now the workplace that I demand. Fun is no longer optional for me, nor is working as a team or being creative. Now if I'm stuck or blocked, I simply have to do an inventory of my environment. Am I being creative? Am I connecting with people? Am I being hands-on? Am I having fun? And if I'm stuck, I can guarantee that one or more of these is not in place. Once you know what you need in order to thrive and solve problems, you'll be able to identify your red flags. They're the things that are holding you back. This is really powerful stuff because it enables you to bring your big picture to life. It's what takes you from words to action. It feels too good to be true that you can work in your perfect environment, but like most things in life, it's simple. We just try to make the simple complex. Then when you're leading with your why, you'll develop powerful connections. When you know your how, you'll be able to create the perfect environment to be in your zone. And then what you can do is limitless. So let's talk about the stuff that might get in your way. You might be worried that your company already has a vision, so how can you impose your own? Well, your big picture is your leadership vision. It doesn't overwrite your company's vision, but it can build an emotional bridge to it. You might think that I'm telling you how to suck eggs, that you already know what you do. And of course you're right, but do you know what's exciting about it? Do you know why it should excite others? And when you describe what you do, is it logical or emotional? Will it appeal to the limbic brain? And have you experienced the talk fest when your team commit to do something but then they don't follow through? You could be wondering what all the fuss is about. You get the principle of leading with your big picture and you knocked it up in 10 minutes. That one scares me more than anything else, because if the words are not 100% you, you'll come across as being inauthentic and do more damage than if we hadn't started this whole process in the first place. Remember, your big picture's coming from your limbic brain. It has no capacity for language, so it should take you a while to get the right words. I'm still refining my words. If they've come too easily, I can guarantee that you're working from your logical brain. You might be thinking, it's all very well for you, Trish, but I'm not an extrovert. I know that many people see me cracking jokes and getting up in front of audiences of people and think that you have to be like that to lead with your big picture. But you couldn't be more wrong, because knowing your big picture simply means putting words to who you already are. It's about becoming instantly visible for who you are and what it is that you're passionate about. This stuff's already coming out in what you do and what you say every day. I'm so excited to have been able to put this video series together, because knowing my big picture has literally changed my life. I love what I do and the people I do it with. My team are awesome and we have a great time together. We're laughing, we get excited over things because we're big thinkers, and I know that our energy is contagious. But the thing that really puts a spring in my step is when I'm inspiring others. I love seeing my clients succeed. It's just so great to see their energy and the energy of their teams. They're having fun, they're getting creative, they're taking risks because they know that they can count on each other. And I hope these videos have helped to open your eyes to what's possible for you, and that you can take the time to continue to work on the 10 times that you've thrived exercise and put words to your big picture. I've had a ball doing these videos. They've just been some hysterical moments behind the scenes as we get our heads around the technology that pulls all this together. I don't know if you've heard the dinging in the background, the trains going by, the seagulls going overhead. And I really don't want to stop now. I want to keep the momentum going for any of you that want to take this journey further. So I've actually booked a venue, and we're going to run a one-day workshop where we can work together and fast track finding the words to your big picture. The workshop will also allow us the time to go deeper and identify the environment that you need to be in your zone, and to give you the tools to put it into practice immediately. This has never been available before because I usually work one-on-one with my clients, but I really want this to work for you, and finding the right words is so important. So this is how it's going to work. In a couple of days, we'll open up registration, which will stay open for a few days, and then it's going to close down. Then we'll know how many people are in, and we'll be able to work it out from there. We'll all go through the one-day workshop together, and you'll come out with the words to your big picture and the knowledge of how to create the environment to put you into your zone. The next video is going to be all about moving forward. So if you want to keep going and you'd like more details about the workshop, that'll all be in the next video. But for now, you've got loads to go on with. If you haven't seen the first 2 videos, take the opportunity while they're still live. But for now, what I'd really like you to do is to scroll down, share the love, hit the like button, but more importantly, tell me about your path. I'd like to know, what sort of leader are you? Where can you see this impacting your career and your life? It really means the world to me, and I'm sure other people are inspired by the comments that are going up too, so keep them going.
I actually had a career break over the last 6 months after 20 years in a global corporation, and took some time off on holiday, and then began to think about what's next. And I found the big picture thinking really useful to help me evaluate options that I had with regards to taking the next step in my career. And I ended up choosing a job which was the best fit with my personal big picture.
It was so revealing, going through that process, which I thought was really creative and helped you see different ways of thinking, different perspectives, and it was really inspiring to know what your personal big picture is. So it was a really mind-blowing process, actually, really quite simple, but really inspiring and energising.
Process, it was actually quite revealing and enlightening and also inspiring.
My big picture is all about finding meaning.
My why is freedom.
My big picture is making a difference.
It's really helped me to prioritise, each day, well, which of these things is really going to make a difference. And I tend, if I focus on them, I'm a lot happier and fulfilled at the end of the day, rather than, trying to tick off everything and be everything to everybody.
To enable my creativity to work, I've got to find meaning in what it is that I'm actually doing.
Even on a daily basis, like even in the morning, I'm like, well, what difference am I going to make today? And it helps me get out of bed and have a real sense of purpose.
I can see that influencing my life in everyday interactions with people, in the decisions I make, in the lifestyle I've chosen.
After doing the big picture session with Trish, I went back and worked with the people and culture director, and we actually changed the questions that we used in our interviews. So we had competency-based interview questions, and then we also added 3 or 4 to help people fit in better with the big picture.
It was really encouraging, inspiring and enlightening for the team to go through the process, and the mantra of the team is to be courageous and make a difference.
Well, I see the common interests, the common thought, the common goal setting.
I have got to have people that I get excited about. It's like, that's what I want.
I'm sure people looking in from the outside would say, look, I want a piece of that, I want to sign up for it.
And I wish I'd have known it in my 20s rather than in my 40s, but better late than never.